Hi all, welcome. It has been a long time since last broadcast and last video from me. I've been away at sea for 2 weeks and I came back last night quite late, so I'm a bit tired and I'm a bit off if you talk about flat Earth. It has been 2 weeks without any flurfs at all. So last night I did take a look at what's new in Flat Earth world, and to my surprise, nothing new in Flirturfia. The same bullshit as always. I think they are quite boring. It starts to get boring to look at those fools. But I keep on looking for more stupidity. Let's see who's in the house. The Triggered Limey, George, Fred, Judy, and some more that haven't said anything in the side chat. Hope it's great with all of you. Today I have planned some topics. One is that I will have a look at all the favorite Kyle Adams and some of his latest fantasies. And then I will talk a bit about an easy tip for you who want to film, an easy trick to make it look a bit more professional. I was out this morning and took some photos and filmed a bit because I haven't touched a camera for 2 weeks. In my line of work, it's not okay to bring a camera to work. I wonder why. Hi John, welcome. Is the sound okay on my mic? As I said, been a while since I made anything on YouTube or used my equipment at all. Okay, I shout out if the sound is okay. Oh, thank you, Trigger. Mr. Limey in the house. Okay, let's start with Kyle Adams. Thank you, Judy. This is one of his latest video, and as usual, he involves his family in his videos. So I will pause it pause the video sometimes and make comments.
Today I'm going to read from my daughter's 6th grade science workbook, which was issued by the Utah State Board of Education. I want to show you what it has to say about orbital mechanics and talk about that.
Actually, I could read for you.
Everyone, this is my daughter. Would you like to go by your first name, or would you like to go by a screen name, like Princess Sparkleface?
No. I don't know.
Okay, Princess Sparkleface it is. Everyone, this is Princess Sparkleface.
don't know about you, but I think it's quite disturbing that he involved his children in his flat earth nonsense. But that's me. Perhaps you have another opinion in the matter. Let's move on.
All right, go ahead and read for us.
Orbital motion. Earth and many other bodies, including asteroids, comets, and the other planets, move around the sun in curved paths called orbits. Generally, the orbits are elliptical or oval in shape. You can see the shape of the Earth's orbit in the next figure. Because of the sun's strong gravity, Earth and other bodies constantly fall toward the sun, but the forward movement causes them to fall around the sun instead of into it. As a result, they keep orbiting the sun and never crash into its surface. The motion of the Earth and the other bodies around the sun is called orbital motion. Orbital motion occurs whenever an object is moving forward and at the same time is pulled by gravity towards another object.
I think this is a very nice, simple description about how it works. But let's hear what Kyle have to say about it.
By those terms, every ball you throw can be considered going into orbit, since every ball you throw is moving forward and at the same time is said to be pulled by gravity toward the Earth.
Oh dear. Is he really this stupid? He's comparing throwing a ball on the ground to the Earth orbit around the sun. Did Kyle ever go to school? This is amazing. So he's trying to debunk his daughter's school book. Oh dear. Let's move on.
Go ahead and read this top paragraph now.
The reason the Earth revolves around the sun instead of falling into it is because of inertia. Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist a change in its motion. All objects have inertia, and the inertia of an object depends on its mass. Objects with greater mass also have greater inertia. The Earth's inertia keeps it moving forward at the same time that it is pulled by the sun's gravitational force. Working together, inertia and gravity cause the Earth to orbit the sun.
There's a link here at the bottom where we can see this illustration in motion. Oh look, I can see it on a computer screen. That means it's real. This is an appeal to technology.
So everything that you can't demonstrate on Earth, the Earth's orbit is quite hard to demonstrate on Earth. So you have to use illustration. But when you're using illustration according to Kyle Adams, it's a lie, it's trickery. Oh dear.
Yeah, they hope you'll believe it just if you see it on a computer screen.
And there you had it. He influenced his kids to believe in his nonsense. It must be a nightmare to have his children in a school class. Oh dear.
Okay, next page.
Orbital motion of the moon. Just as Earth orbits the sun, moons also orbit planets. The moon is affected by Earth's gravity more than it is by the sun's gravitational pull, because the moon is much closer to Earth. The Earth's gravity pulls the moon towards Earth. At the same time, the moon has forward movement, or inertia, that partly counters the force of the Earth's gravity. This inertia causes the moon to orbit Earth instead of falling towards the surface of the planet.
And that is all that the book says about orbital motions.
And it's a correct explanation of how it works. So, excellent school book for kids. But not for Kyle Adams. This is elementary school. And Kyle don't understand it. it says a lot of the level his knowledge is. Jude, I didn't know that he homeschools his kids. Oh dear.
I'm going to highlight this though. The moon has forward movement, or inertia, that partly counters the force of Earth's gravity. So here they are saying this perpendicular force is partly resisting this downward force, even though it is an opposite to it. This brings us back to our ball and string example. I feel a tug on the string as I swing the ball around. But this example only works so long as I am continually swinging the ball around. It is relying on me to power it with continual force. When I stop, it stops, and it falls toward my arm. If I throw a ball, however, there is nothing continually powering the movement of that ball. There is just the temporary thrust I gave it when I put it into motion. Gravity, on the other hand, is supposed to be a continual force. So let's visualize.
And he goes on. If he rotate the ball out in space, it will continue moving. He don't understand the most basic things. The difference between being in an atmosphere and being out in space. Oh dear. He's so incredible stupid.
This as paddling a canoe upstream. With each stroke, I can provide my canoe with forward momentum, sending it upstream. But that stroke I provided was a temporary force. And if I don't keep paddling, the continual applied force of the water will detract from my momentum until it pushes me downstream. Continual forces eventually overcome temporary forces. Launching the ISS into orbit can be seen like applying a temporary force to this ball, putting it into motion. If that inertia is partly resisting gravity, gravity should detract from it, since gravity is supposed to be a continual force. So, this magic zone where the ISS never increases or decreases in altitude should be impossible.
Because the downward force is a continual force, like a river. And the rocket boost that gave the ISS inertia was just a temporary force.
And if you say continual rocket boosts are keeping the ISS up there, what continual rocket boosts are continually keeping the moon up there?
When you understand that this magic zone is impossible, the entire solar system falls apart.
I can't stand more of this. I must be honest. I feel a bit sick listening to this grown-up man trying to teach his children this nonsense. Oh dear. This is awful. I think Kyle is one of the worst flat earthers in one sense, because he's quite polite and try to be polite, and at the same time he's doing this to his children. Oh. If I'm silent, I'm trying to keep up with your writing. Oh, so I did look at this video earlier today and then I had to go out and film that, took some photos. For instance, I took this one on a cruise ship coming to the town where I live in Sweden. Much better out flying the drone than looking at Kyle Adams. Oh dear. I have some news regarding you helping me helping Ukraine. During my 2 weeks at sea, we have passed 3,000 euros sent to Ukraine. So, thank you, everyone. This is very important to me because doing what I do, being out at sea, being a professional soldier, the war is close to me. It's very real to me because these past weeks I've seen Russian ships, I've seen Russian planes, and so on. So it's this is real to me. But when I'm at sea, I earn more money than usual because we work 6 hours, we rest 6 hours, and we put a lot of hours in it. So I decided to raise how much I donate. For every 10 euro donated, I donate 20 until I reach 1,000 euros because I earn more money and I earn more money than I need, and I earn more money because it's a war going on, and therefore I have decided to the extra money I earn I will donate to Ukraine. So if I don't reach it with the channel, I will in the end of the month donate those 1,000 euros. But if you want to be a part of it, I raise it. So for every 10 euro, I donate 20. Or if it's dollar or Swedish crown or whatever it is, I donate it. And if you use PayPal, it's no fees. If you use super chats and so on, it's a fee. But I cover up for that fee. So for instance, Steve's 20 pounds will be 60. And before I started the broadcast, I did receive 30 euros, I think it was, on PayPal. I did get a mail, so that one will be 90 euros. So enough with that. Okay, I talked. I forget to say thank you very much, Steve, for the donation. I'm talking so much that I don't remember what I did say or not did say. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, I asked you for what you want to learn regarding filmmaking and photography, and I did receive a mail about stabilizing your camera when you're filming. You have several quite expensive equipment you can buy for your camera, so you can be able to move and film at the same time. But I have a cheaper version of this one. You have these different type of electronic devices, stabilizing, you have gyros and so on. They are quite costly, and I did a short demonstration video, and I will explain how it's made, because if you're filming and you don't have anything moving in the video, you want to show a landscape, you want to show old castle or something that's or more stated, more it's not moving. It can be feel a little boring, but if you put in some movement in your film, it gets more interesting. So I will show you a quick one here. I'm not used to this. Wait, then we see here. So here you see. Here I think I filmed 3 sequences. You see, I have a smooth movement. And here we have another version of it. And then I did one more, I think. Yes, this one. As you see, I only added a small, smooth movement. So, how did I do this? I'd used one of those. This is a slider. You can have it stand alone, as you see here, on a table, on the floor, on the ground, or you can place it on a tripod, or I often use my stands for my lightings, and you can buy those for perhaps 50 euros or something. So and that one I used, I have more expensive one with motors and so on, but what I used this morning when I filmed this was a cheap, I think it cost me 100 euros and it's no motor on it. So I pushed the camera slowly and made this and got this result. So you can place it. I know the people who placed the camera on toy, bigger model car or anything, only to get this smooth movement. I'm planning to do more of those kinds of tips and tricks, but try it. You can place your mobile phone on something with wheels. It don't have to be expensive, but if you look at a movie or a television series and so on, this type of tricks are often used. And if you're planning to do it, if you look at this one that I have here, I will stop the video. If you have something in the foreground, the movement will be more visible, because if you start this one again, if you look at the house, you don't see so much movement. You get the feeling of the movement because the object I have in the foreground. I hope everybody understand what I mean. So and here the movement was the persons passing by. So the trick is the same here. The old church in the background is not moving so much, but because of the, what do you call it, the brick wall, the stones in the foreground seems to move faster or move more. And there you get the movement. And in the next scene, I reveal, I first hide behind the wall and I move so you see these constructions, and it makes it more interesting. So I hope you find this type of information interesting. This is easy tricks to make things look more professional, and I'm planning to every week give some of this type of tips and tricks how to use, and my goal is to give you tips and tricks that don't cost a lot of money. I hope you find I will read in the side chat. I'm talking, I'm not reading. Now I'm reading. Yes, Jude, it's called parallax. Yes, and I didn't show it now with this type of with the slider. If you have it on the tripod, you also can mimic other type of professional movements like you do with the crane. Often in professional productions, you have the camera mounted on the crane, so you can make an upward movement or diagonal or upwards. And if you tilt the slide, you can make that kind of movements. For instance, I could start at ground level and move up over the stone wall and reveal the house besides. So this, if you train in this type of techniques, you can make many cool effects without it costing you a lot of money. So, what do you say? Do you want more of this kind of content? Hello, Mr. Yours old man. Yours is a very old man. It was 2 weeks since I last did make any video or live, so but in your standards perhaps that's a quite high paced. Yes, Dora, on my motorized slider, more expensive, I can program it so I can rotate the camera, and then you can get more of this parallax effect that Jude was talking about. For instance, some YouTubers use it, that they mount the camera on a short slider and it slowly goes back and returns and so on, so you get a slight movement in the camera and have the person in the center all the time. Yes, it's okay if you hit me with your walking stick. It's oh, you have a walking frame. Sorry. So that was what I have planned for you today, but I'm happy to stay longer if you want to keep on talking, and if you have any questions or comments or requests, you're warm welcome. I also did get I did get a question about the fact that thank you, Carl. I did get the question this morning about my feelings about Finland and Sweden applying for membership in NATO. And as the world is now, I think it's the right decision. As we in Sweden for quite a long time have trained together with NATO, so it will not make so much difference. But as you all know, at the moment Turkey is trying to stop us joining NATO because they claims that we support terrorists. The PKK, they try to fool people that we support them, but they don't tell people that Sweden was the first country outside Turkey, the first country outside Turkey that declared PKK as a terrorist organization. They also claim that we have sent anti-tank weapons to the other Kurdish organization that was fighting in Syria against IS. The only problem with that the weapons sent to them was built in US by US on a license from the Swedish company owning the rights of that weapon. So those weapons was delivered by US, not Sweden. And one other thing, in a couple of weeks we have a big exercise together with NATO out at sea in the Baltic Sea. This is not a secret, and one of the countries who will be in that exercise is Turkey. So they have no problem training with us, but they don't want to have us in NATO. Yes, it have been some of them I've been out on exercise with. We have some of them in Stockholm too, and it will be more NATO ships in a week's time in the Baltic Sea. So that was my opinion on NATO. Yes, yes, I have more information. Not all. I can't talk about all I know about the conflict, but it's quite hard to tell who is winning in Ukraine. Ukraine have done a great job. In the beginning, I was trained as an officer in the infantry, and when I was trained in the 80s, I was trained to defend Sweden in the north, in the Arctic parts, close to the border, Swedish border to Finland, and the way Russia is fighting Ukraine is the way I was told when I was trained in the 80s, how the Russians would, or the Soviet Union would fight in a war. And the way Ukraine is fighting Russia now is the way we were trained in the 80s. And many of the weapons you see Russia uses is the same they had those days. Russia, most of the equipment used by Russia is from the 70s and 80s. And Ukraine have made a great work, but the scary part about the tactics Russia have is that they are using heavy artillery and long distance, mid distance robots and so on. And so their tactics is to bomb the hell out of Ukraine, and that's the reason why civilians is suffering so hard, why they demolish cities and so on. You did see the same in Syria. So I think that Ukraine need weapons that reach further. They have received modern artillery from US, Canada, and now from France that are capable to fire artillery longer range than the ones that Russia have. But the problem with artillery is Russia is in Ukraine today, and when Ukraine use it, they crushes Ukrainian houses, roads, railroads, and so on. So it's terrible. It's awful. Yes, Sober Eagle. It's the truth. The one who loses the least, don't lose so much, is the winner. But if you look on paper, Russia have more resources than Ukraine, but Ukraine have more determined soldiers. Because I don't think many of the Russians believe why they are there. They don't understand why they are there. Oh, you didn't know that one. So I will be home for almost 2 weeks now, and then I will go out at sea again for at least 2 weeks. So soon I'm back to it, back to the war. But yes, I hope that, Mark, I hope that too. I hope, because I think it's very important to see that the normal, even the Russians, the people living in Russia is not to blame for this. And they are suffering too. They are losing their sons, their fathers, their friends in this terrible war, and they are the sanction is starting to be hard on people. People lose their job, their income, prices rises in Russia, and so on. So there are two nations, people who suffer for this, mostly Ukraine, but also Russia. So it's terrible. So I think Vladimir Putin is a war criminal. That's the conclusion I can draw about this madness. Okay, I will come back tomorrow with an ordinary debunk video, and on Wednesday I believe will be ready with a video with some more tips about filming. The part I showed today will be part of that one, but I will show more simple movements you can use this type of equipment, like sliders and so on. But would be great to see if some of you trying this type of technique with a toy car, with anything with wheels, to yes, I agree. I'm I yes, I agree with you. War is a crime, and I'm not a soldier because I want war, but I think that my country is worth to defend, and the world we live in is in some parts a quite dark place. There are scary dark forces out there. Now I sound like a conspiracy nutter, but I'm sad to say that Vladimir Putin did make it quite clear that the world is a scary place. If I sound a bit tired, it's because I am a bit tired. It's quite hard to work 6 hours, rest 6 hours, work 6 hours, rest 6 hours, and on a ship of the type I'm working, it can be quite noisy sometimes. So these 6 hours of rest is not always a rest. So I think I need to sleep more than usual to get in phase with my life again. And it feels quite strange to be home again. It feels like I'm back in reality. Yes, I did see that the script is collecting it from YouTube, and I have a feeling that it collecting the latest member from when it was paid, the membership, the last time it was paid. I must have a look at that. I've seen that too. Because I think latest subscriber is correct and last super chat is correct. But I will have a look at that one because you can't have Yar's name in the top of the screen. Of course you can. Yars is a nice one. Okay. I think I have some work to do with my OBS layout, but wait a moment here. Okay. Yours is too heavy. Yes, he is. Yours is the reason why they don't have high mountains in Australia. Yours, you're so welcome to my channel. Okay. I think I will soon end the stream. I will let it run for some minutes more, but I ran out of topics. or I, I think I ran out of energy. I think I must go to sleep for some hours before I finish tomorrow's video. So thank you very much all, and a big thank you for you who sent money on PayPal, on Super Chats, and you who are members, and you are watching my videos, because if you only watch my videos, I get ad revenues, and the revenues is sent to Ukraine. It's so don't feel bad in any shape or form if you don't donate or are a member. If you visit my channel and look at my videos, the ad revenue goes to Ukraine. Yes, I will get some well-deserved rest. Thank you, everyone. I will start my ending video. See you soon, and have a nice day.